So I am kind of in shock right now because there's been a whole mess of events that have happened since the last video. And long story short, somebody blew up the E36 engine. So let me take you guys through the mess of events that has happened in the last week. Without further ado, my name is Ryan. This is Project Race Car. Let's get into it. So as some of you guys know, I bought a Avis Blue 1995 E36 M3 and I got it for just $2,800. It was running and driving and only had 8,900 miles on it, which is kind of wild, right? The issue is that it had really bad paint. It was hit in the front end and it had a rebuilt title. So I got a whole bunch of parts and put it back together and kind of did a clean and detail on it, and then did a once over on the car, doing new spark plugs, shifter bushings, and kind of getting the car ready to sell. I also made sure to do the tires and make sure that those were good because those were completely dry rotted when I first got the car. Anyways, I decided that I was going to flip the car so that we can turbo the K-swapped E30. Currently we are pulling the engine, but I need to make this video first. So I had the car posted for pretty high, $11,000, and I was like, you know what, maybe we'll see kind of what we can get for it, right? Anyways, after about 2-3 weeks, there wasn't too much interaction with it. The car got a lot of attention, but people were kind of around the $8,000 mark. After showing the car twice and people kind of not really offering anything, I decided to drop the price to $9,000. This got a bunch of attention and one person offered me $8,400 for the car. So I was like, cool, you got cash, let's do it. So the following day he came out with a couple of his friends and they decided to purchase the car. They gave me the cash and I gave them the signed title. Now, after doing the test drive, I kind of realized that these guys were kind of really harsh on the cars. So 2 days later, which is today, I get a message from one of the people that I showed the car to. And he sends me a link to a Facebook group where the E36 is in complete parts. Everything is completely stripped off of the car. The front bumper radiator is gone and everything is for sale. After adding up the parts, the car was posted for about $4,500 in parts, but the engine wasn't posted. So I decided to message the guy. I was like, this doesn't quite make sense if were you just looking for the engine? And then he responds with, I was originally going to take the engine and put it in his E30. Until on the way home, when they were 2 exits off of the highway from 10 minutes away from their house, his friend money shifted from 5th gear to 2nd gear, completely destroying the 88,000 mile S50 engine and just taking it off the map. And now the car is being sold for parts. I mean, honestly, it's not that big of a deal. But it is, it's this thing where you're like, somebody's gonna take care of this car. And, I didn't really realize that within 3 hours they were going to completely blow up the car. But it happened. He said his friend was nice enough to pay for the engine. But unfortunately the car is being sold for parts and will hopefully, the only good thing is that when one car gets parted out, it means that a whole bunch of other cars can get good parts, right? So luckily I was able to get a good profit from this and, get my side of the deal done. But unfortunately that's just a really sad, kind of truth to some of these 90s cars, that they just, they get hooned and not appreciated and blown up. And I think that there's a lesson to be learned to not let your friends drive your cars, especially if you don't trust that friend. I don't know how this kid drives, but doing a misshift from 5th to 2nd is really bad, especially if you're just like bang shifting gears. Damn, did I think that that car was gonna be a little bit longer than 3 hours. Like I said, on the plus side, I did get money. So I got the clutch ordered, the turbo is ordered, and then I got a couple other parts that are going to be good for the E30 as well as the CRV. We are getting that thing lowered on some good coilovers, so be sure to watch out for those two videos coming soon. We are getting the engine pulled. I went ahead and mocked up the turbo manifold, and that's going to be in a later video, but we are about to pull the engine and we are getting that video ready. We will be swapping the clutch, fixing a coolant leak, and then turboing this bad boy when it is all done. I also got new axles to finish off the E30 diff. And I'm gathering parts for one more big purchase, which is going to have the fuel injectors in it, and a couple other small parts like the map sensor, the wastegate, and the blow-off valve. And I'm just still in awe that the E36, like that poor car, I have pictures of it, and that just, it is really sad to see. And I think that that was somewhat of its inevitable doom because it had already been in a track accident. The car was definitely a little bit rough on the edges, but I feel like it was salvageable. But without the engine running, the car is pretty much worth only $4,000, if that. And I guess it's just really sad to see the car just posted for parts, because I had this hope that somebody was going to restore it and put a lot of money into it, but some cars are just cursed. I guess when you sell a car, I've never really had an experience with the next owner where they blow up the car that quickly. Some cars just have this curse with them and they just kind of take it wherever they go. Now, I know this news might be sad for a lot of people, especially the ones that have been watching these E36 videos, but you have to know that sometimes things look a lot better on camera than they do in real life. And so the car had definitely had a rough life. And since it was tracked and since it was kind of like beat up, it was in rough condition, so I'm glad that I was able to get what I got from it. And unfortunately, the E36 reached its demise sooner than later. Some of the things that I didn't show were the headliner was not really sealing properly. A lot of the interior pieces were missing, the speakers were missing, the shocks were bad. It was a really rough ride in terms of the suspension as well. And then there was also some damage in the fender well, which was also a little bit concerning. The main value of that E36 was really in the drivetrain, and especially being such low miles and being a clean engine. But when you take the engine out of the drivetrain, it kind of demolishes all of its value. So I talked to the new owner and he said that they lost compression in 3 of the cylinders. And so I don't know how bad the damage is. I know the bottom ends can be really strong on those cars, but in any case, he at least bent some valves doing a 5th to 2nd gear drop. So I'm glad that they didn't crash and I'm glad that nobody got hurt, but that is sad. You know, there wouldn't be junkyards without cars being destroyed. So I hope you guys found some entertainment in this video. I'm kind of still in just overall shock, which is wild to think. I've never really been in the position of selling a car and then finding out that the car has been destroyed. So if this has happened to you guys and I'm just like, let me know in the comments. I promise we have new turbo parts coming soon. They're all ordered, and so we will be doing a lot of work on the cars in the next couple weeks. But until next time, my name is Ryan. This is Project Race Car. Have an amazing day. Peace.